Welcome to Card of Destiny. I'm Pandora. If this video found you, it means it's meant for you to hear. This is a message for you. Today, we'll explore your relationship, how you and your partner see and feel about each other, the current dynamics, and what the future may hold. If you enjoy my readings, please subscribe and share. Your support means the world to me. Let's begin your reading. You, the person who is watching. Two of Swords, reversed. You're sitting in a very uncomfortable place right now, one of emotional tension, mental fog, and internal conflict. With the Two of Swords reversed, it's not that you don't know what you feel, it's that your heart and your mind may not be in agreement, and that's pulling you into a space where even the simplest decisions feel heavy. You might be caught between two truths. Part of you sees the connection clearly, what you've built, what you've shared, what has been beautiful. But there's another part, the quiet voice within, that keeps nudging you towards something else. A truth that may be harder to look at but necessary to acknowledge. There's a subtle sense of avoidance here. Maybe you've been telling yourself that things are fine, or brushing aside moments of discomfort just to keep the peace. But now, it's not working anymore. The inner noise is getting louder. The emotional blindfold is slipping. You may be overthinking everything right now, trying to anticipate every possible outcome before making a move. And let's be honest, that's exhausting. You want clarity, you want peace. But most of all, you want to feel confident that your emotional needs aren't being overlooked or sidelined in this relationship. There's also fear here. The fear of rocking the boat, of being too much, of asking for more and being told you're wrong for doing so. And if that's the case, please hear this. Your needs are not an inconvenience. Your emotions are not too much. You are allowed to want more. More connection, more honesty, more emotional depth. This card reversed urges you to stop avoiding your truth, to stop editing your feelings in order to maintain temporary harmony. It's time to choose clarity over comfort, even if it's messy, even if it's scary, even if it changes everything. Because at the end of the day, peace doesn't come from silence, it comes from resolution. Your partner. Three of Cups, upright. Now here's an interesting contrast. Your partner is showing up as the Three of Cups upright, a card of joy, friendship, emotional connection, and celebration. This doesn't necessarily mean they're lighthearted or shallow, it simply means they're prioritizing ease, harmony, and emotional lightness right now. They may view the relationship through the lens of what's going well, while you're more focused on the deeper emotional dynamics. This could lead to a bit of a mismatch. They may think everything's fine, while you're carrying a heavy emotional load they don't even see. There's a sweetness to this card though. It tells me that your partner likely values shared experiences, laughter, and intimacy. They may be the kind of person who wants to enjoy life moment by moment, who feels deeply in the present but sometimes avoids more complex emotional processing. It's possible that they thrive in community or within social settings. If they're particularly extroverted or externally focused, they may be inadvertently neglecting some of the private emotional care this relationship requires. Not because they don't care, but because they're not noticing what's not being said. This is a person who might struggle with emotional confrontation. They'd rather focus on the good. They might get uncomfortable when things get too serious or heavy. They don't want to ruin the vibe. And while that can be a beautiful trait, it can also create a dynamic where important emotional needs are bypassed. They love connection, but they may not know how to hold complex connection. And this is where things start to strain between you. They may genuinely feel that they're doing their best. And in their way, they probably are. But they may not realize that their version of everything's fine is missing your silent pain completely. And it's not because they're heartless, it's because they may be emotionally ill-equipped right now to dive into the depths that you're sitting in. And that's the gap that must be bridged, or else widened. Current situation. The Empress, upright. This card is such a powerful centerpiece for your reading. The Empress in the Thoth deck is lush, divine, and deeply feminine. She's about growth, abundance, beauty, fertility, love, and emotional nourishment. In your current relationship, this suggests that there is something deeply fertile between you. Something that wants to grow, evolve, and bear emotional fruit. This card often shows up when the energy between two people has the potential to become something profound, healing, and sustaining. But here's the twist. The Empress requires tending. She does not grow in neglect. She needs warmth, attention, consistency, love, and protection. Right now, this card is telling us this connection could be something deeply beautiful, but it needs more care. It needs more emotional nourishment, more attunement, more presence. The emotional soil is rich, but if one person is watering the relationship while the other dances in the sunlight, growth becomes uneven. There's also a suggestion here that you've taken on the role of the nurturer. You may be the one constantly offering emotional depth, creating intimacy, initiating connection, holding emotional space. And while that may be your strength, it cannot be your burden alone. This is a partnership, not a garden for one. This card can also point to creative or spiritual potential between you, dreams shared, projects envisioned, or even children, whether literal or symbolic. There's something here that wants to be birthed, but again, it cannot grow without mutual effort. The Empress is inviting you to ask, am I being emotionally fed in return? Is this relationship honoring my softness, my strength, my effort? If the answer is no, it's time to speak it. Because love without reciprocity isn't love, it's emotional labor. Possible outcome: Two of Discs reversed. This is where the reading becomes a wake-up call. The reverse Two of Discs is about instability, imbalance, and emotional juggling. It speaks of trying to manage too much without support, of systems breaking down, of emotional overwhelm. This isn't about catastrophe, it's about burnout. This card tells me that if things continue on their current trajectory, you may hit an emotional breaking point. You may reach a place where you can no longer maintain the balancing act, where your internal tension becomes external, where the gap between your needs and your partner's awareness becomes unsustainable. This doesn't mean the relationship will end, but it does mean it will shift. Something will be forced to change. You may find yourself reevaluating what you've been compromising. You may reach a point where you say, if things don't change, I can't stay. Or perhaps your partner may finally feel the weight of what they've been blind to and step up. This card reversed is not a punishment, it's a push toward honesty, a push toward either building something real, or realizing that continuing to pour into something unbalanced will only deplete you. It also speaks of internal imbalance. You may be losing your center, feeling emotionally tossed between hope and despair, love and confusion, connection and disconnection. That's no way to live. And this card is saying, that kind of turbulence can't go on forever. You either rebuild the foundation together or you take your energy back and build something new on your own. Conclusion. So let's bring it all together now. You, the person who is watching, are standing at a spiritual crossroads. Your heart is whispering truths that your mind is still afraid to face. You're someone who wants to believe in love, real love, mutual love, growing love. But you're starting to ask hard questions. Am I being met? Am I being heard? Am I being held in the way I hold others? Your partner is someone with a kind heart, a joyful spirit, a celebratory energy. But they may be living in the surface level of emotion right now, more focused on good vibes than real depth. And that's not inherently bad. But it can become painful if they keep missing the silent ache in you that's asking to be acknowledged. Together, there's something powerful here. The Empress tells us that this is not a shallow connection. The roots are there, the growth is possible. But only with care, only with truth. Right now, the relationship is tilted. You're doing the inner work. You're wrestling with doubt, emotion, hope, fear. They may be dancing above the storm, unaware. And while that doesn't make them cruel, it does make the connection unequal. And the Two of Discs reversed? It's your warning, not of doom, but of change. Something has to shift. Either they meet you where you are, or you choose peace, even if it means distance. Your emotional intelligence is your gift. Your depth is your power. Your softness is your strength. And you don't have to abandon yourself to be loved. So what's next? That's up to both of you. But one thing is clear. Your heart will no longer be quiet. And that is a beautiful, powerful thing. Thank you for watching my video. I hope this message brought you the clarity you needed. If you enjoyed it, please support my channel. Good luck on your journey.